Welcome back to Real Shift. Today I'm going to be continuing my movies bucket list. I'm basically going back and reviewing some classics that I may have missed or maybe I haven't seen all the way through, giving them a fresh set of eyes and reviewing them. I'm doing this basically because there are no new movies to review currently because of the whole situation the world is in. I hope everyone's staying safe with that, by the way. And yeah, so I'm taking this opportunity to revisit some classics, and today I'm going to be doing another Universal monster movie. I already did Dracula, actually, but today I'm going to be doing Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's directed by Jack Arnold and was released on February 12th, 1954. The plot of the movie is pretty standard, I guess you could say. Basically, these diggers or scientists, they find these bones of this hand. It's a hand basically with you could see like the fins in between the fingers. It's an unknown species. So basically they go and get more scientists. They bring them to the Amazon where they found it. And they basically want to figure out if this was basically an anomaly for the creature or if this is something that's still living today. So that's pretty much the whole premise of it. And then obviously shit hits the fan basically. So I think the 50s themselves were definitely a turning point for horror. This was the time when they were starting to delve into the B-movie monster craze. Basically, everything was either from outer space, so you had a lot of alien movies, alien invasion movies, or you had monsters being created by human means, either in a lab or by atomic weapons. So this was like kind of in the thick of that craze, but it was also, I guess you could say, unique in a lot of ways because most of those movies were taking place on a grand scale or in a very highly populated area, whereas The Creature from the Black Lagoon is in a secluded, exotic location like the Amazon jungle. So you only have a small group of people who are actually in danger of being, I guess, killed by this creature. That changes in the sequels, which again I haven't seen, but I kind of read up on them a little bit because the creature does come to more populated areas. But in this particular movie, I think it's kind of cool and kind of a breath of fresh air to have him just a group of people on a boat and they have to escape this creature, and that's the whole self-contained story right there. It's very simple, it's very grounded, it's very down to earth. So that I appreciated as far as being a part of the B-movie craze. The atmosphere is a big thing in all these Universal monster movies, and it's no different in this one. And it's a couple decades later from Dracula, and they're still using a similar formula where it's more about atmosphere than what they actually show you. Like, it's not about gore, it's not about necessarily jump scares like we have today. It's about atmosphere. It's about creating a creepy, ominous atmosphere. And it's that minimalist approach that helps it not to feel as dated. Again, I'll say it again, the underwater stuff in particular in this movie, it should look really bad considering it was made in the 50s, but it actually doesn't. It actually holds up pretty well. And that's a testament to the filmmakers for sure, to be able to shoot underwater scenes back then with limited resources and have them hold up to today's standards. I think it's pretty amazing what they are able to do. And it helps them to basically make the creature more mysterious also, because you have a lot of shots of him, you know, just watching them from a distance from underwater, and that in itself is creepy. So anything underwater, any movie that you see underwater, there's creepy aspects to it, whether it's sharks, aliens, whatever the case may be, creatures. So they heavily play with that, and this might have been the origin of that sort of stereotype that's been used in many horror movies after it. So yeah, I enjoyed all that, and it's definitely mostly about the ominous underwater atmosphere that they managed to create in this movie, which I thoroughly enjoyed for sure. It's pretty impressive, to be quite honest, as I said, that they were able to do what they were able to do back then, and it shows in this movie when you watch it. I think the biggest thing that it manages to do is the suit itself, because like most movies back then, you have an actor inside of a rubber suit, and that has a lot of potential to not age well and look bad. But again, I'll take aged practical effects over bad CGI any day. I think aged practical effects, depending on how you shoot them, can hold up a lot better than bad CGI. You look at some movies, say from the early 90s, when they weren't doing CGI. Not everyone was doing CGI all that well. You had stuff like, of course, Jurassic Park that was doing it phenomenally, but then you had movies that weren't doing it and were just doing it the cheap route. So all those movies, they don't look good now. But this movie, while yes, still a little bit cheesy, it still holds up quite a bit, because I think the star of this movie is the creature itself. The actors, while they all do a fine job, nobody really stands out. Like in Dracula, you had a couple of actors that actually stood out in their performances. In this one, I didn't really feel like any of the actors really stood out, and it's nothing against them. It's just the creature itself is the star of the movie. That's the focal point of the movie. So it was important to portray that creature in the best way possible, and I feel like they were able to do that with having limited resources. And a lot of that has to go, a lot of credit for that has to go to the filmmakers, who are able to hide the issues that they may have had and make it so this movie stands the test of time, which it does. The suit itself actually reminds me a little bit of the xenomorph suit from the original Aliens, in the Ridley Scott Alien. While in certain cases you know that this would look cheesy, but like they do in Aliens, they put him in situations where he's not fully exposed, so you don't see all the imperfections in the suit, and they do a fine job at that. And in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Ridley Scott took inspiration from Creature from the Black Lagoon when making Alien, because it really comes through that way. I also enjoyed like the King Kong aspect of the creature, where he basically is taking the woman, taking her, not really sure what he's gonna do with her, I guess, but he takes her rather than kills her. So there's an aspect of the whole, like, the creature falling for the woman thing. And I don't know necessarily that they were going for a love thing with the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I just got those vibes, I guess, a little bit. He probably would have killed her if given more time, but that was a thing, I think, back in the day, is these creatures, I guess, becoming, I guess, infatuated with these human women. So, and that continues here. I also have to point out, I mentioned this in my Chinatown review about how the poster kind of grabs you and makes you want to watch the movie. The same goes for the creature. I think it's typical B-movie poster, but it looks really well. It holds up really well, and it just makes you want to watch the movie. So a shout out to poster. That's a lost art in movies, I believe, and I think whoever created that poster deserves a lot of credit, because it definitely, again, has stood the test of time. So basically, overall, like, I enjoyed Creature from the Black Lagoon. It leaves a lot to your imagination. It's not going to be obviously a gore fest. You're not going to see a lot of blood. You're not even going to see the creature necessarily kill people. Most of that happens off screen, but again, it's all about leaving it up to, I think, the viewer's imagination, not showing you too much. And I think this movie, like Dracula did, it does a really good job of that. You have your ominous underwater atmosphere, the bee monster movie charm. All of that is all a part of this movie. I think it's a film that clearly had its formula ripped off, and I mean that in the best way possible. It doesn't take anything away from this movie, but I think a lot of movies after this have modeled themselves after The Creature from the Black Lagoon, and you realize that when you watch it, and I didn't realize it until I watched it. So yeah, it's clearly had an impact on popular culture, on film culture, and yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Again, I'm enjoying these black and white older movies a lot more than even I thought I would. I mean, I knew I'd like them, but I'm enjoying seeing basically what filmmakers were able to do with so little. I think that's my biggest takeaway from watching some of these older movies. So just the creativity involved with them, I guess. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on The Creature from the Black Lagoon. I'm going to continue doing these reviews. Next, I will hopefully be doing a movie that, again, I can't quite believe that I haven't done yet. That was supposed to be this one, but I ordered it from Amazon. It didn't quite come in yet because of everything that's going on. So I'm backing that one up. But there is a major horror movie, classic horror movie that I've never seen that I'm going to review on here. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully it's the next one. Hopefully I get the Blu-ray in the mail soon. But yeah, I'm going to continue my bucket list. If you want, please let me know what you think about The Creature from the Black Lagoon down in the comments below. Did I convince you, make you want to see it? And give me some of your bucket list movies too. I'd love to hear them, and maybe we can compare them, and maybe we'll have some similar. So yeah, let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below. As always, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and we'll see you next time right here on Real Shift. Thanks for watching.